Hey, what's up, and welcome back to the Horror Highway. I'm Aris, one half of the Horror Highway, and I'm here with...
I'm Omar, I'm the other half. Jesus Christ, man.
Welcome to the Darkest 4Chan ICEBERG Volume 3. Normally, icebergs are categorized to most popular or most known at the top, and least at the bottom.
You'd mean most obscure, least obscure.
Same shit, bro. Anyways, we categorize it as darkest. That way we have the darkest stuff towards the bottom and the lightest stuff, like the light, humorous, not as scary stuff towards the top.
Don't forget to watch our state series.
Yeah.
Last episode was Utah, which I worked on. Pretty cool. I had help from Big Spite Bungo, too. A fan of ours. Thank you, Big Spite Bungo.
Check out the Darkest United States Iceberg series, like Omar said. Yeah. Next episode should be Tennessee, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly. So yeah, if you're interested in that, just check it out. Anyways, let's get on with the video. Level 1.
Mew finds Panchiko. The internet was always meant to facilitate answering questions easier, as the largest repository of information in the world. But what happens when you can't find anything out about the thing you want to know about? This is what happened to one Anon on July 1st, 2017, when he came across a strange-looking CD case. On the cover would be what seemed to be a manga panel rip of an anime girl, which would later be discovered to be from the manga Mint no Bokura by Wataru Yoshizumi. And to the right of the girl was the band's name, Panchiko, and below the anime girl was the album's title, Death Metal, with every letter being spaced by a less than symbol. Very quickly within the thread OP posted, people wanted to hear the album, so OP would oblige and post a bad rip of the album. On top of the rip not being great, the CD also had suffered from age, making some of the songs sound bit crushed. But Anons wouldn't know if that was intentional or just time taking its toll, till much later on. Also, within the thread, OP would let people know he got the CD from an Oxfam shop in England, which Oxfam is like a second-hand / thrift type store. Anons in this thread would constantly confuse the band's name as Pachinko and thought they found the band. Anons all over tried their hardest to find anything but couldn't find any info at all. All they knew was the info that was on the CD, which listed the band members' first names, Owen, Andy, Sean, and John, and the year of the CD's creation, 2000. It would only be after 4 years of searching and the song spreading around YouTube, Discord, and Reddit, growing a collective of people trying to hunt down the band members, did one of these searchers have a breakthrough. In an article on Vice by Robin Wilson, it's explained that on the CD's cover, there was a code that linked it to an Oxfam shop in Nottingham, specifically a small town called Sherwood, and within that town lived a man called Owen, which was the first name as one of the band members. It just so happened that Owen in fact was the Owen from the band, and the searchers ended up telling him how people had been looking for his band for the past 4 years, as well as many other things. Owen would reveal that Panchiko was the name of a band he was in during high school, and the death metal CD was a demo sent to recording companies to try to get the band picked up. Owen would also contact the other members of the band, and they would actually reform, and also release the clean version of the songs, but still allow the rotted ones to stay online. After all this time, the band would see major success, garnering millions of streams on their songs, with Death Metal, the song, not the album, having 20,151,559 streams on Spotify at the time of writing, and they also started touring as of 2022. I'll just say, in the end, the band made it very big. Also, Wang has a far more in-depth video and breakdown about how the band was found if you want to watch that, as well as the discovery of the CD.
The 4chan Dancing Man. So, I don't know if this should have been placed lower or not. It is a feel-good story, but not because of 4chan. More because of Twitter and other websites. 4chan were the people that started making fun of him and fat-shaming him, or at least just a couple of Anons. On February 13th, 2015, this on screen was posted on poll saying, "Spotted this specimen trying to dance the other week. He stopped when he saw us laughing." Other 4chan users did criticize the OP for being mean and just being an asshole in general, and the screen cap soon got popular on sites like Imgur, Facebook, and Twitter. The dancing man was a man from London, England, named Sean. Sean got a lot of support from people, even some celebrities. And on March 6th, 2015, musicians Pharrell Williams, Moby, and Andrew WK tweeted this report for Sean and expressed interest in performing at his up-and-coming dance party. He appeared on the Today Show and threw the first pitch at a Dodgers game when he did visit Los Angeles. Anyways, here's a great video going in depth about this whole entry/event if you want to know more in depth about it.
Shroomjak. Shroomjak refers to a specific variation of the Wojak meme, created by a random Anon of the B board on 4chan. It would be on the January 30th of 2021 that the Anon would post it on B, with it not getting a lot of attention, the thread only receiving 25 replies, but most of them were people replying with their own version of the Shroomjak. A significant amount of these posts just being the Shroomjak being turned into a phallus jack is the best way I could put it. Needless to say, the thread would see very little regard, but the opposite would happen off-site. A screenshot of the post and a reply which says something to the idea of please allow your living facilities to cease would do numbers on Twitter and Reddit, which led to a whole bunch of new memes including the Shroomjak. Another point in the Shroomjak lore that would explode was also from 4chan, but this time it wasn't from B but from X, where an Anon would post, "How do people not understand that this is literally a fucking demon? It's clearly made by someone who either knows what they're doing or someone high on psychedelics who saw a literal demon and was too dumb to realize. It's a demon. It's obvious to anyone who's had any experience with the supernatural, or anyone who isn't a total hylic, or possessed by someone for that matter." The original post was funny due to the childish innocence in it. Heh, my own Wojak. And it worked perfectly to mask its sinister nature. KYS guy was right all along, and acting on natural instinct, he's a Chad. It's a depiction of a demon that appeared to someone, that is also spreading like fungus through spores by infecting unsuspecting people. It's like a sigil engraved into the minds of the people that spreads through the memetic noosphere. Take a look at any person who likes this meme on any social network, and it's so obvious their mind is already taken over. Mushroom emojis everywhere, cult-like behavior, mental deterioration. The memes involving it are getting more and more demonic. It's literally e-worship. And if you don't see this while being around those people, you are blind. If one look at this image doesn't evoke a weird feeling, you are blind. It's a literal demon. Today while astral projecting, I invoked it by using its face as a sigil, and it attacked me. It was incredibly powerful, and I barely fucking escaped, but I will have to face it soon. Can't imagine what it does to an unsuspecting mind. Delete every trace of it you have in your life, and don't fucking share it. It's a literal memetic demon. You know, twisting the idea of a little funny guy actually being of demonic origin, and even going as far as to call it an infection of the noosphere and a memetic virus. All of this meaning it's trying to corrupt humanity. Yeah, I don't really know how to end on that note, so Shroomjak.
The Ballad of Edgardo. Man, I love this story. This story was first posted on 4chan in 2013, and to me, it is definitely one of the best things to have ever come out of 4chan. If you haven't read or heard this story, do yourself a favor and do so. The way I originally listened to it was a video on YouTube. I couldn't find that video, I think it got deleted, but I'm sure there's more out there. Anyways, the Ballad of Edgardo is an epic tale of two underdogs in a desperate struggle against jerk-ass powers that be. The in-lore world is dominated by an oppressive evil overlord named Militant Zero and his army of dark and edgy Bishay murder hobos. And to me, the story is so good. Also, if you guys think we should read this story, let us know. We usually do horror green texts, but I would love to retell this story. Up to you guys though. Check out Horror Highway Stories.
Just another silly, less serious post from 4chan. It's gross, but not in a disgusting way. I assume that this was on the cooking board of 4chan. Basically, OP laments the fact that the store he goes to was out of broccoli, so he takes it upon himself to create broccoli instead of going to another store for some reason. How does he create broccoli, you ask? Well, it turns out it's really simple actually. You just need to buy some cauliflower and green Gatorade. I'm assuming green apple flavor. Throw the Gatorade into a pan, boil that bad boy, then add your cauliflower and boom, delicious broccoli. And at the end, he adds the broccoli to a plate of eggs and bacon.
The Cardstand livestream trolling. This series of trolls originated on February 10th, 2011, when Anon saw two pedestrians knocking down on January 20th, 2011 on Earthcam livestreams. Anon's viewing Earthcam was a thing before this event, but the Cardstand trolling coined the phrase, "I'll be there in 30 minutes." Anons who did see the Cardstand being knocked down posted on B that they themselves will go and knock it down again, but most of those threads were just fake or trolls. The first time that it was actually done was on February 16th, 2011 at 8:20 p.m. and Anon said that they would be there in 30 minutes, and then in 30 minutes he was there and knocked it down. This was dubbed the day Anon delivered. On April 22nd, the Cardstand fell again. Anons tried many times. Some did manage to successfully drop the stand, but most ended in failure, and most threads were trolls. Some other Anons did go to the Cardstand, but instead of dropping it, they stood next to it and showed the camera pointing at the Cardstand a sign that said stuff along the lines of "OP will not deliver."
4chan celebrates Old Man's birthday. Like many other stories involving 4chan, this one starts on B, the random board of 4chan. But unlike most stories you hear about B, this one actually has a happy outcome. Somehow, some Anon from B would manage to come in contact with the poster, asking for locals to come out and celebrate the birthday of William Lashua, as he was about to become 90. Assumedly, Anon came in contact with the poster as he lived in the same town as the man on the poster, and this became more evident when the Anon turns out to recognize William Lashua as a World War II US Army veteran. The Anon would plan to go on the B board and ask for other Anons to congratulate William, and in general would send him support and well wishes. So on September 1st, 2010, Anon would post a flyer he came across, containing the picture of William, as well as where the party for William's celebration would be hosted, the Ashburn American Legion, which is a building used by the Veterans Association. The general positivity and support for William would go viral and spread through the other parts of the internet, garnering attention on sites like Facebook, Reddit, and BuzzFeed. This would prompt one of William's grandsons to respond to the positivity on Reddit and show how appreciative the family was of the support. Kind folks of Reddit, my family and I appreciate the outpouring of love and generosity. There's been a large misunderstanding. The poster, which I'm told was found at the Gardner's Stop and Shop, was more a local notice for the people that know him. It was in no way to indicate that he is alone. He has 7 children, many grandchildren, and even great-grandchildren. In his younger years, he was a foster parent to dozens of foster children. He's well liked in the community and will be fully supported on his 90th birthday. I asked that if you don't know him to not attend the party, as it is for his friends and family. The venue for the party is a very small hall and will be full to capacity with people he knows and loves. By all means, send cards and well wishes, but please refrain from sending gifts, strippers, cakes, candies, etc. And instead, please make a donation in his name to a local veterans charity. Thank you again for all the support and well wishes. We certainly never expected this. You are awesome, Reddit. Now please help me spread the word to other outlets and make sure this is a smaller, enjoyable party for him. On September 4th, user RubberDucky451 would compile and post images from William's birthday onto Imgur, and the following day, a video by Anonymous Has Soul on YouTube would upload a video of William J. Lashua's birthday, which was a slideshow of the birthday pictures. 3 years later, someone claiming to be William's grandson would post on 4chan, letting Anons know that William had passed away, and Anons found a website containing his obituary, which was from the local town's newspaper. Rest in peace, William Lashua. Also, Wavy Web Surfer made a more in-depth video on this subject if you want to watch that.
Level 2. 4chan versus Reddit, Tribe's Ascent. This event in the history of 4chan to me is pretty funny. Reddit issued the challenge and 4chan accepted. For months, Reddit chose their best players, hosting tournaments within themselves, just so they could find the best players. When they got their members, they would practice a couple of times a week. So fast forward to the day of the match. About 30 minutes before, 4chan just grabbed random people creating a ragtag team, with one member being from Chile and having really high ping. Reddit won the first 2 games, which was expected due to how 4chan grabbed their team, but then 4chan managed to tie it up in the next 2 games. And finally, in the last game, funnily enough, 4chan ended up winning. Many memes came from this event, and with it ending, Reddit was actually a good sport about it. And luckily enough, this event did not end up like the Battlefield 3 match they had. So yeah, somehow 4chan won even though they grabbed their members 30 minutes before the game, which is pretty funny.
Operation 9gag, referring to a specific moment in time where 4chan would come in conflict with 9gag users. For all intents and purposes though, we'll say it was 9gag that provoked 4chan, specifically B. It seems 9gaggers were claiming to be the place where memes originated and placing the 9gag watermark on the memes, as well as trying to make money off the memes. Anyway, this all leads to December 21st, 2011, where 4chan would go raid 9gag, and this raid would include the typical wonders you'd see from a 4chan raid, such as porn and gore, as well as spamming those. Following that, there was a DDoSing attack on the 9gag servers. Seemingly connected to this is a screenshot of a thread of someone claiming to be from 9gag and provoking Anons on B to spam and dox 9gag again. This leads me to believe that maybe 4chan users were acting like 9gag users to in fact get people to attack 9gag. While 9gag does have a core of users, I find it hard to believe that it really has a community. I mean, it's just a place where it steals memes from 4chan, Reddit, and Facebook. Some more info about Operation 9gag, by the way. 4chan would reach out to other websites like Reddit, Funny Junk, and Tumblr to basically ask for help during the raid with 9gag. And while this raid occurred, 9gag did get enough people to retaliate, but all they could do was make the homepage of 4chan inaccessible. Meanwhile, the actual boards of 4chan remained perfectly fine and functional during the attack. I think I should end this on 9gag is cringe and still is cringe, but what 4chan did was definitely bad. Especially if the claims of 4chan spamming images of child exploitation material is true, which probably is, because 4chan used to have a problem with that type of content on its site. Like, credit should go to the proper creators for their work, but taking a step back, it really seems like this fight was more of an excuse to clown on 9gag for being cringe and normie and not having enough internet points.
The original Nyquil Chicken post. So this was already on our TikTok iceberg, just because it got really popular on TikTok around 2022. Check out that video if you're interested on some of the darker things that came out of TikTok. Anyways, the origins of this, I guess, trend / meme comes from 4chan. On April 1st, 2017, a user posted about making sleepy time chicken on 4chan's cooking board /CK. A couple of weeks later, a random Twitter user posted about it on Twitter, and fast forward 2022, Nyquil Chicken gets popular on TikTok. Many people called it out for its health concerns, which obviously don't make Nyquil Chicken or eat it at all. It is dangerous, but the original 4chan post was a joke because it was posted on April Fools.
Purple Republic Club Penguin. Shout out to the WordPress blogs for still being up for a game that was shut down 6 years ago. They really helped flesh out this entry. Right, so like always we start on 4chan, but this time we'll start on the video game board. V. It starts similar to the Pool's closed group from Habbo Hotel. People wanted to raid a game for whatever reason, most likely boredom, and so they decided on Club Penguin and made their penguins purple. They were also required to collect the miner's hat and drill. They would sometimes create threads on V to communicate, but quickly a Steam group would be made, called the Penguins of Purple Republic. This all starts in 2011, and the group quickly starts gaining members. Likely because like Habbo, it's easy to create accounts and it's free to play Club Penguin. With the WordPress made by the army of Club Penguin, I'll bring them up later, mentioning they had at least 1,000 people in the Steam group, led by Violence Aletta. Though looking at the public groups page, at the time of writing this on Steam, there are actually 2 other Purple Republic groups that exist, both with under 700 users. Kinda makes sense since the game is now dead. Obviously, the group existed to go to servers in Club Penguin lobbies and spam things like Kring and cover the room in purple penguins. Sometimes they would make shapes. There's a video on YouTube of one of them doing an infamous shape related to a certain fascist World War II army. Now there is a bit more to this group, as it had a rival, an arch nemesis, and the Nachos. I can't really get into the whole Club Penguin colorist history lore, and Jesus Christ, why does a child social game have so much going on? But I'll summarize the relations between the groups. By the way, there were more, I'm just mentioning what I could easily find. before the info started to get too much. So let's start simple. Pink Alliance, which was Purple's arch nemesis. The best way to describe the relationship between the two, according to a Pink blog, would be that Pink is like Joker and Purple is like Batman. Pink needs Purple to exist, but only to torment them, and also sometimes teams up with them. The army of Club Penguin just hated the Purple Empire and wanted them gone. These are your gamers rising up to the trolls. Though, despite their boast of effectiveness, I truly have no idea if they actually were. Nachos are honestly, I don't know. The army of Club Penguin claims they're the second biggest army, so they ran into Purple a lot and had beef. But I'm guessing Nachos cared more about their own lore and rivalry with Rebel Penguin Federation, and Purples would probably always crash the party and ruin stuff. Even before the game was shut down, it seemed a lot of Purple's antics would die off, but every once in a while, the Purple flame would reignite. But that ended with the shutdown of Club Penguin.
Jizzus Chatline raids. Jizzus Chatline was a live-streamed webcast series hosted by Richard Burnish and Stephen Chilton, who promoted a fictional branch of Christianity called the Church of the Neon Bible, kind of like a satire American televangelist public access show. The show ran from 2011 to 2012. The show was known for being raided by 4chan's B-board with just prank calls from the users. The Jizzus Chatline was first live-streamed on May 2011 and ended sometime in July 2012. There's many compilations on YouTube if you're interested in watching. I don't really want to add it onto the video because most of the people prank calling them are just saying slurs, so yeah. On to the next one.
Boxxy, aka the Queen of B, is a character created by Katie Wayne. The character was sort of a raw XD girl from the bygone times of the late 2000s. Several videos by Katie under the Boxxy character would have widespread reach on the internet, and one place it landed was 4chan B. The video that went viral, I Am Bored, would basically lead to what I guess you would call the Boxxy War, which was just people on B flaming each other for whether or not they should consider her the Queen of B, or thinking she was the most annoying thing ever. I want you to keep in mind that this girl was probably 17 when all these people were arguing about her on 4chan. Boxxy would make a video called For Everyone from Boxxy to respond to the people hating on her, basically telling them to chill and thanking her admirers. Yeah, some Anons didn't take well to that and created the Center for Boxxy Control and Restriction, which hacked into her YouTube account, privated all her videos, then uploaded a video telling her to stop making videos and doxing her. This video wasn't received well, so they released a second video apologizing for what they did, which, can't really take back doxing people, and made her videos public again, and Boxxy would eventually get control of the channel back. The last video on the Boxxy Bay YouTube channel, which was the one she was using to upload the Boxxy stuff, would be uploaded on January 9th, 2014. There's a bit more to the lore with Boxxy in reference to specifically herself, but by basically 2011 on another YouTube channel by Katie, she had stated that she had grown out of the character. Also, one time 4chan was spamming the hashtag Boxxy on Twitter to show praise for their queen, and that's really all they could do. For the most part, people on B just did whatever they could to show their reverence to Boxxy, and that's what mainly Boxxy threads were.
Tabby. Another 4chan e-girl, she rose to fame on 4chan's B-board and quickly gained the moniker the new Queen of B. And on September 24th, 2009, several months after her I Got a Ferret video was posted on 4chan, the video I'm referring to was first posted on YouTube before 4chan. The video showed random clips of a 15-year-old Tabby talking about her ferret. She was very similar to Boxxy, just on a much smaller scale, and with her new moniker being the new Queen of B, a lot of Boxxy fanboys were mad and upset that people were declaring a new Queen of B. Many of the Anons that did post on B didn't really care about the quote-unquote Queens of B, but the people that did were just weirdos. She deleted her YouTube videos and MySpace pages, but she made another one on September 25th, 2009. She would post many videos till 2021, and she hasn't posted any videos since then. Peter the Cat, aka the King of B, real name Sesame. He first appeared in early 2006 in his owner's YouTube videos, but Peter first appeared on 4chan on April 9th, 2009. Someone posted a photo of Peter on B asking for romantic advice. This thread was not archived according to Know Your Meme. The picture of Peter got popular because people thought Peter resembled Lenin Cat. Some thought they were the same cat. Lenin Cat is a cat that resembles Vladimir Lenin, and on December 21st, 2009, a Hello Peter thread was made, and within 9 hours, it reached 10,000 posts. Most of the posts were just, Hello Peter.
mr.bones wild ride. So V on 4chan is a pretty wild place, and that's mainly because if you want to actually get nitty gritty and look at min-maxing for a game, you would use VGG, Video Game General, or one of the other 7 game boards, and video games is mainly a generic place to put opinions and memes, at least in my experience with the boards. That being said, that was a while ago. Anyways, this entry refers to a post made on March 26, 2012, and involves a video game Roller Coaster Tycoon 2. In Roller Coaster Tycoon, you manage an amusement park and create rides. It's a simulation game with no real endgame besides whatever you want it to be. Well, an Anon from V decided his goal would be to make mr.bones wild ride. This is a roller coaster with 30,696 feet of track, which is about 5.81 miles. Now out of game, that ride takes 70 minutes to complete, but within the game, the 38 unlucky NPCs would actually have to spend 4 years on that track. This game would also allow you to see how NPCs react to the rides, and it ended with the NPC saying, "I wanna get off mr.bones wild ride." The Anon that created this coaster is extra cruel, as when the ride finally ends, it actually just loops to another entrance after a 2-hour walk, the mr.bones wild ride, while a sign that says the ride never ends displays. Really, this is just Anons having some good laugh at a silly creation within a video game. Though I do wonder what makes people do cruel things in video games. You see this all the time with The Sims. Well, I guess everyone's similar when it comes to torturing NPCs in video games.
Level 3. First photo of Herobrine. Okay, I want to start this entry with, I know about the white ice creepypasta thing / I don't know what to call it, which was, from what I understand, what inspired Herobrine. I won't really get into the white ice creepypasta since it's not a 4chan thing, but the first ever photo of Herobrine was apparently posted on 4chan's V board. The post said this, with this photo attached. I had recently spawned a new world in single-player Minecraft. Everything was normal at first. As I began chopping down trees and crafting a workbench, I noticed something move amongst the dense fog. I have a really slow computer, so I have to play with tiny render distance. I thought it was a cow, so I pursued it, hoping to grab some hides for armor. It wasn't a cow though. Looking back at me was another character, with a default skin, but his eyes were empty. I saw no name pop up, and I double-checked to make sure I wasn't in multiplayer mode. He didn't stay long. He looked at me and quickly ran into the fog. I pursued out of curiosity, but he was gone.
Agile Conference Raid 2013. Internet Historian made a video on this if you want a more in-depth look on it. Agile is a town in Tennessee, and on September 6, 2013, it would hold an annual conference, the Agile Conference, in which business and business people were learning to adapt to new leadership techniques, planning and project management, distribution, code stuff, and something about Netflix. What those people were doing doesn't matter to us in this story. It was the action of a single man that would bring perverse pleasure to the legions of Anons on B. This story starts with a simple call to action of the nefarious kind. Hello B. I come to you in a time of great need. I'm bored as fuck at a work-related conference, Agile 2013 in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm ready to off myself. They have one object that could definitely pass the time and ruin the conference and spread lols. 5 giant screens that post tweets under the tag #Agile2013. The tweets fly by 5 of these massive screens as conference attendees contribute bullshit messages. Ridiculous avatars, gore, and trap imagery would be much appreciated and make me smile. Please, pretty please. In before NYPA. In before can't in before. This call to raid the Twitter hashtag Agile2013 would lead to a bunch of things being posted on the hashtag that we can't even show you on YouTube, and what we can is still obviously offensive in classic 4chan B style. So as said in the post, the Anons that raided the hashtag would have their tweets and images posted on large screens at the Agile convention. And some Anon would take it a step further, actually finding the website of the convention, hacking into it, and filling it with unsavory images and memes. People were prompted to help to take the hashtag back. But in the end, the raid would take it over, and so Agile tried making a new hashtag, Agile2, but that would also get seen and raided by B. In the end, B won, and the Agile convention website would have an apology hosted on its main page, and all the screens at the convention hosted this apology as well, apologizing to the attendees.
Anon's ingrown toenail. So the Anon is called Toe Anon because of what transpired during the thread. Anyways, Toe Anon has an overgrown toenail with like 4 layers of it, and this is a pretty nasty thread, so I'll censor the images as they go through. But throughout the whole thread, Toe Anon was trying to yank off the toenail, layer by layer. He gets a flathead screwdriver and peels the layers back one at a time, and he tries to rip them off, and he eventually does get most of it off, but Anons on 4chan tell him to still go to a doctor to both finish the job and disinfect the toe. So I wanted to add this on this entry, and originally on the part 3 iceberg, there was supposed to be another toe entry. We did the one where the Anon chopped off his toe, and this one, but I cannot find the screenshot of the one where an Anon drills right through their toe, and if anyone has a link to it or a screenshot of it, I would appreciate it if you would either email us at horrorhighwaypod@gmail.com or submit it on our Discord. Both will be linked in the description. I did find it when researching for volume 2 of the 4chan iceberg, but did not save it, and in retrospect I should have. But anyways, on to the next one.
Operation YouTube, or 4chan raids YouTube with porn. I honestly don't know how much of this I can actually talk about and still stay on YouTube's good side. Oh well. So 4chan doesn't get the right to say they created this operation, called Operation YouTube. That honor goes to the website eBombs World, which was a very early site where memes and comedy content would be posted, and the funnier content would get more e-bones. So think of it as like an early 9gag or /funny, something along those lines. Well, someone on the P3RN board of eBombs World was wondering what would happen if YouTube was flooded with the lewd content. People responded that it would simply get banned, but then a devious idea came into several users' head. Well, all these eBomb users in 2009 had decided to mass spam YouTube with not safe for work adult video content. They decided to do the spam attack on May 19th, 2009. It would also go under a different name named Operation Porn Day. The way 4chan is involved in this was that eBombs World would ask Anons from B to help in the spam effort, and you already know what they said. It was a yes. So yeah, it was pretty bad. They used popular video tags to make sure the videos had as much reach as possible. Those tags were the Jonas Brothers, Twilight, Swine Flu, Britain's Got Talent, Hannah Montana, Stephanie, High School Musical, and Fred. Man, that Swine Flu one takes me back. That was on the news all the time when I was a kid. Anyways, it was pretty big and even made the news. There was a BBC News report that highlighted how this attack had an unfortunate and disastrous consequence of kids getting shown that content. Because the way some of the videos worked, it was like the first 20 seconds were the thing the video said it actually was, but then it cut to the not safe for work stuff. And eBombs and B didn't pick vanilla stuff. They made sure to get hardcore and traumatizing stuff. Another attempt would be made on June 12th, known as Operation Ponytail, but that one didn't really catch on, and then another attempt on November 14th, 2010, in response to the banning of a YouTuber known as Luke Weiss1234, who was an 8-year-old YouTube video maker. He was banned because being under 13 and having a channel violated YouTube guidelines.
V-House. V-House is a playthrough, I'm not sure what this is called, of The Sims 3 that was modded. There are 2 very similar instances on the V-board, but the one I am referring to is the one where the OP started with Shrek and asked the V-board who else he should add. Doom Guy was asked and he ended up being added. The OP tried to make Pac-Man but ended up creating the Pokemon Muck and he was eventually added. Then another person asked for Lara Croft and they were added. There's a decent amount of lore to this V-House, like them adding Gaben and Stu into the house, and honestly it's pretty funny. It gave me a chuckle here and there, but I'm not going to read it out just because it's pretty long and doesn't really fit into this video. But if you're interested in reading it, I will have this linked in the description. If we ever do a part 4 of the iceberg, I'll definitely add the other V-House with Chin Men and that other story, which is also pretty funny.
Brazzers visits TV. Idolatry of the human form is an ancient human practice that persists today, and 4chan was once given the chance to help create a film that would aid in that idolatry. The studio that creates such films in that genre of enjoying cardinal pleasures known as brazzers would have a producer, Dick Bush, visit the television board of 4chan on December 15, 2015, granting them the ability to write a scene for one of Brazzers' features known as Meme Lovers. Many suggestions would be made to Dick Bush, and he would consider many of those. Then, on February 23, 2016, the film would go up, and many TV Anons got to admire their work. As this was 2015-2016, there was a lot of Bane posting memes, which if you don't know what those are, shame on you, but it's just mainly finding a way to quote or allude to the beginning of the film The Dark Knight Rises, where Bane talks to a CIA agent, Bill Wilson, and you get memorable quotes like, "You're a big guy. Who are you?" Anyways, a lot of these memes get incorporated into the film. For instance, the main male lead and his mom and dad in the film wear Bane masks. The female lead wears a Guy Fawkes mask, which is the anonymous mask. So yeah, TV helped create adult video entertainment.
The Scooby 1961 Docs. Scooby is a prominent YouTuber that basically pioneered the initial fitness-oriented channels on YouTube, and his content focused on nutrition and workout guidance. In addition to his instructional videos, he also hopped on various blogs and actively engaged in discussions on 4chan's /Fitboard, or the fitness board. His involvement in the 4chan community garnered him various monikers, such as the Natty King and the King of Fit, reflecting his recognition and influence across the board. While Scooby started his YouTube channel on 2006, he did not start posting on 4chan until July 2012. From what I understand, he only posted on Fit. Anyways, on July 2013, a 4chan user ended up doxing Scooby. It revealed his home address, his employer information, and as early as July 16th, 2013, /Fit posters basically expressed a negative response to the 4chan user that doxed him, with many posters noting that his interactions with the site were regularly positive and full of advice, and he did not deserve to have his privacy invaded like this. And on July 21st, after the doxing had turned into real-life harassment and hate mail, Scooby uploaded a video that he called his last video, claiming that he was going to shut himself off from social media and for his family's safety. Obviously, he's back on YouTube, and I'm happy for that. When I was younger, I did watch a couple of his videos here and there. Yeah, shout out to Scooby.
Operation slickpubes. Anonymous, the hacker collective that started on 4chan, as you know, has some beef with a certain religious organization /cult known as Scientology. Within the history of these two entities clashing for what they believe is right, lands the story of Agent Pubit. No, that's not actually his name, it's a title he earned. An ingenious plan was devised by the members of Anonymous that were participating in an act of protest towards this chapter of Scientology, located at West 46th Street, Times Square, New York. First, the distraction. The fax and phone lines would be spammed and pranked in order to allow Agent Pubit's infiltration to be successful. And for his mission to be successful, he would need all the help he could get to go Metal Gear Solid Snake Stealth mode. While the distraction operation was going on, Agent Pubit would strike. What was Agent Pubit's mission? To run around smeared in stuff and make a scene. You see, for maximum effectiveness, Pubit would take a drastic action. He was called Agent Pubit for a reason. He first covers himself with Vaseline. Then, he gathers a bag of his secret weapon, nails, and hair from the nether region of a person. After the Vaseline is all over him, Pubit makes sure to cover himself, not really if you see the video, in that no area hair, and make his way to the Scientology building. His plan would be successful, as on December 2009, he would make his way there in operating mode, and walk in, and kind of make noise and touch stuff and just be a bit of a disturbance. Then he would leave. Pubit would make a successful extraction, but would still be caught, as reported in an NBC4 New York News report by Brian Rez. He would be charged with burglary, criminal mischief, and aggravated harassment as hate crimes. Fly high, Agent Pubit, because I'm pretty sure this protest was more successful than the one where they just danced and played loud music across the street from a Scientology building.
Cranky-chan. Before even Boxxy and before even Tabby, she was the first. Also, just to shout this out beforehand, I am making a scary 4chan timeline series documenting the creepiest/scariest horror type beat things that have happened on 4chan, but doing it in a chronological order. And Cranky-chan is a huge part of early 4chan and of that video. The Cranky-chan saga started on January 6th, 2005. She would post pictures with the phrase "sup B" and the timestamp. Anons thought she was cute. Eventually she was freaked out from all the attention she had gotten. She was basically doxxed, and many fan sites had her info, and some people on 4chan would make posts like this.
Cranky-chan is gone, and my life withers. I'll never forgive you assholes for chasing that adorable girl away. You all are horrible, disgusting people, and I hope there's a God and makes you suffer in hell. I'll never again be able to fall asleep without thinking of her warm, cute, smiling face. You have ruined my life completely. All I do all day now is think stuff up to post about her on Troll Talk, to get people to talk with me about her because that's all I got left. I'm going mad. I hope you're happy with what you've done. If I ever see someone mention 4chan in real life, I'll fucking beat him to death with my belt. Eventually, I should be able to kill all those responsible for this.
She was also regarded as a religious figure known as the Sky Queen. She eventually did leave the internet for all we know. People even now still look for her and have fan sites of her, but yeah, that shit is really creepy in my opinion. Just leave her alone, she doesn't want to be contacted.
Level 4. The Russians killed God creepypasta. So basically for 9ish years, nearly about 10, people had been searching for a creepypasta in which the Soviet Union kills God, and some interesting things were found. Firstly, a lot of the things that were found by Reddit sleuths, and what they found was this creepypasta seemed to have inspired one of the main writing staff for the GOC, Kane Pathos Crow, in the SCP universe lore and stories. For some reason, people kept tying the image of two Finnish soldiers holding the skinned remains of a cannibalized Soviet soldier, which may or may not be a real picture. Regardless, that's not really something we could show you on YouTube. Lastly, this creepypasta seemed to have originated on 4chan X a long time ago, likely 13 years ago. Something making the search of the story harder was the fact that people were confusing other creepypastas relating to meeting God, like Gateway to the Mind and Russian Sleep Experiment, with the pasta they were looking for, which led to muddying the waters. The reason for the confusion with the pastas is because, for one, the Russian Sleep Experiment obviously has Russian testing, and in the end the experiments make some statements about being the evil of humanity, and in Gateway of the Mind, it ends with the guy who had all his senses cut off coming back after meeting God and telling everyone that he has abandoned humanity. I could also claim with personal experience that I've seen that Finnish soldier image tied to a pasta on X, but from what I remember, it had nothing to do about killing God, but maybe about a sniper hunting down a flying monster that was killing soldiers during a war. I think it was a sniper, and it might have mentioned that they were a Soviet or Finnish sniper, I'm not too sure. I also could just be simply misremembering. Anyways, all of that doesn't really matter, as one of the Reddit sleuths who had been hunting down the story had finally found the old 4chan thread that had the story. User AXMLO would find it, and shortly after, YouTuber Kylie Bogley would reveal in a YouTube video that Kane Pathos Crow had in fact confirmed that the story AXMLO found was the one that inspired the GOC and the one he read years ago. So you guys should go make sure to watch Kylie Bogley's video on the search for this creepypasta.
Twitch, 125GB leak. So on October 6, 2021, Twitch confirmed on Twitter that there had been a breach on their site, and on October 5th, one day prior, an anonymous hacker posted on 4chan a torrent link. The post said this:
"We bring you today with an extremely poggers leak. Twitch is an American live streaming service that focuses on video game live streaming, including broadcasts of esports, competitions, operated by Twitch Interactive, a subsidiary of Amazon.com. Their community is also a disgusting, toxic cesspool, so to foster some more disruption and competition in the online video streaming space, we have completely pwned them, and in part 1 are releasing the source code from almost 6,000 internal GIF repositories."
So the link was removed that same day, but not before doing a lot of damage to Twitch. Twitch said that the breach was due to an error on a Twitch server configuration change, and that only some data was exposed. But I don't know about them, but 125 gigs is not just some. Anyways, the leak contained the Twitch source code with commit history from the very beginning, mobile, desktop, and console Twitch clients, proprietary SDKs and internal AWS services used by Twitch, data from Twitch-owned properties such as IGDB and CurseForge, Unity game code for Vape World, details of Vapor by Amazon Game Studios, which will compete with Steam, red teaming tools or tools used internally by the red team, a team in a company security operations center that tries to breach systems as a hacker would to test it, and creator payout reports from August 2019 until October 2021. And after seeing the top 100 of the Twitch creator payouts during that time period, the more notable ones that I saw while looking through the list of the creator payouts from that time period is KYR Speedy, My Glorious King, My Light in an Ever Dark and Bleak World, my favorite online male entertainer. I fucking love KYR Speedy. 70-month subscriber on Twitch. So yeah, hopefully my information didn't get out. Yeah. Also Saikuno, which I watch him from time to time because he plays Yu-Gi-Oh! So yeah, if you wanna find it, you could find it. It's not that hard to find. But I also don't wanna say it out there because I don't want to dox them if this is considered a dox.
Flying Scorpion. If I had a nickel for every blah blah blah, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't allowed, but it's weird. Covered in the previous 4chan video, there was a frog tied to balloons and set free among the heavens. In this case, Anon seemed to have created hell for his scorpion, and it actually and rightfully backfires on them. Last night some friends and I made a scorpion fly. This wasn't an adventure for our own sick personal amusement. No sir, it wasn't. The scorpion was a pussy, and we were going to make a goddamn man out of him. He wouldn't sting anyone, no matter how much you would prod or poke him. He wouldn't pinch anyone. He just sat and took the blows, the same way a 3-year-old would. After tying slip knots to his pincers, tail, and body, we tied those to a balloon. Instead of making him float straight to the top of the room, though, we added weight, making the balloon virtually neutrally buoyant. The result was a scorpion being able to glide across the room. This must have awoken the man inside him, because we can't even touch him anymore without him stinging or pinching us. I mean, I feel bad for the animal. They kept antagonizing it and eventually put it in a state the animal would probably never be in, let alone understand. But at least in the end, it got the upper hand by scaring the Anon that created the thread.
Anon is a monster. Man, this screen text is fucking disgusting. It is short, and I doubt it's even real. But still, someone still thinking it up is disturbing in it all itself. I am definitely not reading this out loud, but it is basically a tornado ends up hitting a town. Townsfolk are looking for people who are not yet found. The OP finds one of the said people. They're not alive, but OP still desecrates the body. And that's pretty much all I'll say. I really hope this isn't actually true and didn't happen. I can't confirm whether it's real or not, and if it is real, it should definitely be lower on the iceberg, but I can't confirm, so it's here.
Creepy Chan. Another girl that 4chan would worship, but not on the same level as Boxxy. Alice in Harvard piqued interest with the way she shot most of her pictures, involving blood, and just using unsettling places that gave the photos a weird energy. Allison would start posting these pictures of herself on MySpace and would post creepy drawings that she drew on DeviantArt. It seemed that these photos of her would get attention, and soon people on X would have a fascination with her. And that's kind of weird considering that she was only like 14, 15 when these pictures were taken. But looking past that, the images are provoking in a sort of horrific kind of way. In short, what I'm trying to say is the photos were shot really well. Although Allison never posted on 4chan herself, threads about her would be made, and she would be informed by friends of these threads. And this is where she got nicknames. Most of these threads were on the Paranormal Board /X, Tusin-chan, Cute-chan, Alleycat, and Queen of X. In a Reddit MAA in 2011, Allison revealed while she was a contestant on the reality show America's Next Top Model during 2009, she would lurk on X in order to see what people were saying / posting about her. She actually made it to the finals but only got second place. Currently, she's just being a successful artist and model, running a big Twitter account and Tumblr.
OP raids the Lactation room. So this entry is kinda crazy. On January 15th, 2019, an Anon would post this on /fit.
Ask a guy who secretly drank coworker's breast milk as a PW supplement. Anything.
Another Anon asks,
You didn't drink straight from the teat?
The OP just says,
No, lol. I just raided the lactation room.
Another Anon asks how he even got the breast milk. Did she leave it in the break room fridge, or did he ask? He responds with,
No, we have a lactation room where pregnant mothers store their milk during the day at work so they can bring home to their babies. I just skimmed half a liter from bottles in the fridge.
The thread goes on for a little bit more until another Anon asks OP where he works. He claims he works at a large tech company. Now this next part, I am not sure if it's connected, but everything leads to it being together. So on December 8th, 2021, Activision Blizzard employees claimed that breastfeeding rooms rocked backwards and had wood tables with caked up milk, additionally with only 2 outlets, and it was said that the whole room was a fire hazard. It is also claimed that the refrigerators needed to be padlocked because other employees would use them to keep beer and even steal breast milk. So yeah, everything leads that the OP from that post worked or works at Activision Blizzard and was stealing breast milk from his coworkers, and yeah, that's pretty gross.
My Little Pony Cum Jar Project. What started the whole figures and jar memes, as far as I can remember, was this single image of Rainbow Dash being surrounded by the fluids of a certain man's loins. First posted on 4chan on the My Little Pony board, MLP. The first post of this Anon would be made on April 1st of 2014. This Anon would post an image of Rainbow Dash inside a jar with a small amount of reproductive liquid. The Anon would frequently post on MLP, updating Anons. Jar Anon, as I'll call him now, would post frequent updates on the board, showing everyone the building of the fluid. But on November 11, 2014, a devastating update for those following the project would happen. It turns out that the Anon who had been working on the project jar had accidentally left it on a radiator, and it would boil the reproductive fluids, turning them into a weird color. Though this was a setback, it was not an end to the project, as Anon would move the pony to a new jar and start again. In a video by Wang on YouTube, Jar Anon actually gets interviewed by Wang, and he reveals more about himself and the thought process behind the project. You should give it a watch.
Level 5.
Cut for Beiber. So this all starts with TMZ sharing a photo of pop star Justin Bieber allegedly smoking marijuana on January 4th, 2013. Just 3 days later on B, an Anon would come up with an idea to trick the young fans of Justin Bieber to hurt themselves. All of this under the guise of the fact that he was smoking. Let's start a Cut Yourself for Bieber campaign. Tweet a bunch of pics of people cutting themselves and claim we did it because Bieber was smoking weed. See if we can get some little girls to cut themselves. Yeah, so on the same day there would be Twitter accounts and Facebook pages made trying to provoke reactions from Bieber fans and Bieber himself by posting images of other people's self-harm and claiming it to be theirs under the hashtag #CutForBieber. Another thing to add to this is that there was also a YouTube video made by YouTuber Wild Hog Logging that basically claimed it was Anonymous that masterminded this whole hashtag and their origin was actually on 9gag, and so he was trying to put the blame on 9gag for this. News articles would pick up the cutting for Bieber trend and story, but for the most part, within the day, everyone had found out it originated on 4chan, and made corrections to let people know that it was in fact a hoax. In response to this cutting for Bieber hashtag, Twitter would make the hashtag self-harm is not a joke to enlighten people about self-harm.
Lacey Vicich. On August 15th, 2012, Lacey made a thread on 4chan's B-board with a photo of herself holding up a timestamped message, which said,
Post ending in 69 decides what I show. Tits or pussy.
Many Anons would post tits or GTFO, and that the OP was only an attention whore. When a post with the ending number being 69 shows up, she did not fulfill the request. Instead, Lacey and her boyfriend, Ronald Paul Baker, ended up responding with pictures of themselves flipping off the camera, with some signs saying, "You mad? Maybe next time you should show respect to women," and with a link of her profile on a campsite. After that, and the next day, 4chan would start doxing her and looking for her information, and she would hop back on B to post a picture where she would tease 4chan, claiming that they will never find their personal information, where they live and where they work, etc. But during this, her boyfriend fucked up. On his picture, he would write the word "jits," Urban Dictionary says that jits is a slang term meaning something similar to bro and commonly used in Florida. That basically told 4chan that they were somewhere in Florida. After that, they found a Facebook profile with their personal information. That profile is now deleted. Later that same day, a Facebook fan page was created under the guise of fans of her camgirl career. 4chan users would continue to mess with her, making a website called LaceyVicich.com. They also tried to pin the doxing to 9gag. On August 20th, a YouTube account named Official Video Zone uploaded a video titled Lacey Vicich was fired phone call, and the video just featured audio of someone calling a restaurant where she apparently worked at, and during the end of the video, the caller just asks if she's still employed, and they just say no. That video will be in the description if you want to listen to it. On August 25th, another 4chan user claimed to have reported an armed burglary at her parents' house, and there's a text transcript that was uploaded to YouTube. However, that isn't really confirmed, and I'm not sure.
Jizzus Christ. December 26, 2007. An Anon would end up posting something rather disturbing on 4chan/B. Many assumed to know what it was they were seeing, but it seemed like a Herculean effort, something that was simply too much for one man to do. This was the precursor to the MOP pony jar. This was Jizzus Christ, and like his namesake, he seemed to have brought a miracle with him. That miracle was 4 2-liter soda bottles full of human male reproductive material. As a yearly occurrence, Jizzus Christ would bless the masses of B with the fruits of his labor. Many were in awe of what they saw, yet some would say Jizzus Christ was a false prophet, as how could you fill up 4 2-liter soda bottles every year? The naysayers would be proven right. It would be on December 12, 2018 when Jizzus Christ would reveal the truth to his fans and detractors. Hello Anons, my name is of no concern. Many years ago I posted images like the one you see as a little joke. It gathered some traction, so I posted similar images for the next few years. While the joke was initially funny, I think it's been going on for far too long now. What you have come to know as Jizzus is actually just some guy who brewed ginger beer at home and thought it looked like jizz. I figured I'd be obvious with the yeast sediment at the bottom, but very few people ever caught on. I no longer brew ginger beer. It was only a phase, so that's why I've not posted any images. That being said, while his acts were falsehoods, he did inspire very real people to follow in his light and perform acts similar to his.
The day B found Madeleine McCann. So, Madeleine McCann is a British child who went missing while on holiday with her family in Portugal in 2007. She disappeared from her family's holiday apartment in a resort town of Praia da Luz on the evening of May 3rd, 2007, a few days before her 4th birthday. The case received widespread media attention and became one of the most famous missing person cases in the world. Despite extensive investigations by Portuguese and British authorities, as well as international attention, Madeleine McCann's disappearance remains unsolved. But on September 2nd, 2010, an Anon posted about her saying, "Where do you think she's at, B?" Another user would post pictures of a little girl in a dark place, tied up, claiming she's at his basement. Although the post might be a little dark, the pictures of the girl actually came from Criminal Minds. I don't watch Criminal Minds, so I wasn't sure on the episode, but after doing a little bit of research, the actress is Elle Fanning as Tracy Bell in her guest star appearance of Criminal Minds in 2007's episode No Way Out Part 2. But to me, the post is still pretty sick. So yeah, B didn't actually find Madeleine McCann. Hopefully she's still alive, and hopefully one day her parents get closure.
Walter Easley, the cat kicker. As reported on the Daily Dot by Fernando Alfonso, this entry refers to a 17-year-old called Walter Easley, who created a vine of him kicking a cat. Everyone should already know where this is going. Once Reddit and 4chan caught wind of this, they hunted the kid down, making sure he would pay for his animal abuse. Easley, realizing after everyone was telling him what the hell was wrong with him, would go dark by deleting the vine, going private on Twitter, but by the time that happened, it was already too late. Threads on 4chan were made urging people to report him to PETA and to local law enforcement and news to get the story as much reach as possible. Also, 2 page spins were created that held private information of his, and that info was being passed around. Once he was caught and questioned about the video, he would claim the video was edited to make it seem like he was kicking the cat. but in reality he just tossed it into the air with his foot, which is what kicking is. I don't know why he thought this line of reasoning would help. He would be charged with animal cruelty.
Level 6. Dead fetus. So again, I want to ask you guys if any of y'all have a link to that toenail drill or a screenshot. I just can't seem to find it. That would have been an entry and it would have been on this layer. Anyways, on September 29th, 2013, a user would post a picture of a fetus in a box. The post said,
"Sup B, look what I found. 16 decides what I do."
Users responded with,
"Make it a pope, call 911, and shit next to it."
But someone finally got 16, and what they said was, "Make it a puppet." OP did and messed with it some more, while also posting more pictures. Then another user got 16, and he said to whip it against a wall. And it appears that OP does, and posts more pictures, this time with what seems to be internal bleeding to the baby's head. Again, another user gets 16, and this time, that Anon says to eat a piece of its brain. But the OP responds back with,
"Sorry to bum you out, but the morgue guy came and took it away to its family. We'll try this again next time a baby dies on my watch. Till we meet again, B."
Yeah, that's pretty fucked up. I really don't know what to think. Let's just move on.
What does B keep in the freezer? One extremely not safe for work and mysterious thread on 4chan was, what does B keep in their freezer? That's how OP starts a thread on December 5th, 2007, prompting Anons to guess what is in his. Within a couple of minutes and a few replies guessing, when Anon replies, "A body." And OP responds, "Well done." Attached to the reply was an image of a severed leg. Someone asked for more, and he in fact posts 2 more severed bodies. And on the last image that OP posted, he said he was going to leave to go fap, and the thread would die off. The images seem to originate in the thread, and the fact that there have been copycat threads trying to use those images make it seem more likely that they are original. But the thing is, no one actually knows whether those body parts are real or not. They could be fake, but if that's the case, they were some extremely convincing fakes. And secondly, if they are real, how did OP get them? There's some theories like OP may be a mortician, and that's just where he was storing body parts, in a freezer, covered in a bag. Or maybe OP is a gravedigger who stole a body and stores it in the freezer. Or maybe OP actually is showing the body of someone he murdered.
Level 7. OP wants to fuck niece's friend. Sorry for the screenshot being low quality, that's just how it was when I downloaded it. Anyway, the post says,
"TLDR, 30-year-old wants to fuck niece's 16-year-old friend. Here's the story. I have a huge crush on my niece's friend. I'm 30 and married, and she's 16. She has a crush on me too. She stole a picture of me, and my niece says she has it hanging up in her locker. When I go see my niece, she is always there, and we flirt, but it's very tame. One time, when we got home, my wife said, 'You better be careful with that.' And I said, 'What are you talking about?' She said, 'You know exactly what I'm talking about. I want to make this happen. How do I go about it?'"
Anons on the board then start asking OP questions. Eventually, someone asks the OP what the shirt says, and OP responds with,
"It says tigers. They live in Georgia, and the school mascot is a tiger."
Anons then find the school and send a fax and email to the principal. And yeah, basically OP ruined his life. Here's the last post from an Anon.
"Yeah, I just emailed the principal a copy of the pic of the girl, plus this thread. Hopefully they will follow up on Monday morning. Enjoy your divorce with no fresh pussy to show for it, OP."
One last thing about this post before I move on to the next one. I searched up the high school. It's Alcovey High School, and the mascot is tigers. And I'm searching 2009 news about it because this thread was made in 2009, and I can't find anything remotely close to what the thread is talking about. So if it did happen, it never made the news, at least not on Google. So yeah, even so, it's still pretty disgusting.
OP gets exposed by 4chan. OP posts about how he feels attracted to his friend's daughter, and he makes sure to point out the size of the child's chest, and make sure to let Anons know her age, which is 13. A lot of Anons replied to this thread, basically encouraging him to groom, or just outright sexually assault the girl. Thankfully, there were some Anons who used the EXIF data on the photo to manage to get some personal info on OP, which helped them track down where the photos were taken, and with that info, an Anon quickly makes a list of schools in the area and houses surrounding OP's houses, and tries finding emails for those houses, and in that effort he seems successful. He then encourages people in the thread to message those emails in order to let people know what OP is saying on 4chan about kids. Some people in the thread assume that this was actually someone trolling, trying to get 4chan to mass report someone, all the while OP is actually pretending to be that someone, in order to ruin their life. There really isn't any more info I could find about this thread, and in all honesty, the best thing to hope is that everything is a troll, but knowing 4chan, it might have not been.
Marcel Hesse. He was a 19-year-old from Germany, and on March 6, 2017, Marcel Hesse approached his neighbor's house and asked the youngest of the three brothers, Jaden, if he would help him put up a ladder. According to the police investigation, Hesse lured the 9-year-old boy back to his home and killed him by repeatedly stabbing him with a knife 58 times. Apparently, he also filmed the murder, and this is not confirmed, but he also uploaded it on the dark web. Before, during, and after, he was texting his friends and sending them videos. The friend made a 4chan post going, "My friend killed a kid. Here's proof. What do I do?" Marcel was also active on 4chan and took great pleasure in participating in all the threads about his quote-unquote escapades. Now on the run, he visited his friend, living one town over, and asked if he could crash there. And unfortunately for his friend, he agreed. They stayed up playing video games that night. The next morning, that same friend confronted Hesse about the murder. Having seen the news and reports calling for his arrest, Marcel killed his friend. The friend threatened to call the cops on Hesse, and that's pretty much the reason why he killed him. Basically in the same way he killed Jaden. Some more pictures were taken and uploaded to 4chan, and Hesse hid out at his friend's house for 2 more days before setting the place on fire and running off again. On March 8th, an ominous post written in German about an imminent killing spree surfaced on 4chan's B-board, which also started making rounds among German Twitter users. During this time, there had been a 3-day-long manhunt for him. Marcel ended up walking into a Greek fast food restaurant in Herne and told the owner to call the police, effectively turning himself in. Marcel also alerted the police to a burning apartment nearby, where they found his quote-unquote friend's body. According to authorities, Marcel also admitted to both of these crimes. Oh, and I don't know if this is true or not, but apparently he was also screaming, "I am 4chan," while being arrested. So yeah, what a fucking disgusting piece of shit. It's us again. If you enjoyed the video and made it this far, just make sure to like, comment, subscribe. What were you saying, Omar, about the bell?
Oh, turn that bell notification on if you want to hear more interesting, dark, and spooky stuff that we cover on this channel.
Again, make sure to check out the United States Darkest Iceberg series. 5 episodes out so far. If you're interested in any of those or any of the future states coming up, and territories, we're doing territories as well.
Hope you enjoyed the video you're currently watching, which is the is the Darkest 4chan Iceberg Volume 3, and have a good day, night.
Day, night. Hope your finals are going well. Yeah. Bye.
Bye.